The movie begins in the deadly mountains of Afghanistan, where billionaire genius Tony Stark travels with a military convoy after successfully demonstrating his terrifying Jericho missile. Tony is arrogant, rich, famous, and completely obsessed with luxury and advanced weapons. But everything changes in seconds when terrorists suddenly ambush the convoy with brutal force. Explosions destroy the vehicles around him, soldiers are killed instantly, and Tony desperately tries to escape before a missile carrying the logo of Stark Industries lands beside him and explodes directly in his face. After waking up inside a dark cave, Tony discovers he has been kidnapped by the terrorist organization known as the Ten Rings. A doctor named Yinsen reveals that metal fragments from the explosion nearly reach Tony's heart, and the only thing keeping him alive is an electromagnet attached inside his chest. Before Tony can fully understand the situation, the terrorists force him to build a Jericho missile for them, using Stark Industries weapons already stored inside the cave. The movie flashes back briefly to Tony's glamorous life in America, where he parties nonstop, ignores responsibilities, and treats everything like a joke, while Pepper Potts quietly handles his chaotic lifestyle behind the scenes. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because it truly helps us grow together and bring you more epic movie recaps like this. Back in the cave, Tony realizes the horrifying truth that his own weapons are being used to destroy innocent people across the world. Pretending to obey the terrorists, Tony secretly begins building something completely different alongside Yinsen. Instead of constructing the Jericho missile, he creates a miniature arc reactor powerful enough to keep his heart alive. Then he reveals his real plan to Yinsen, a massive armored metal suit capable of blasting them out of the cave and escaping the terrorists forever. While the Ten Rings grow increasingly suspicious, Tony and Yinsen continue building the heavy iron armor in complete secrecy. The terrorists threaten them constantly and eventually give Tony only one final night to finish the missile. Knowing time is running out, Tony works non-stop while Yinsen risks his own life, helping him complete the suit's systems before armed men storm the cave to stop them. Yinsen sacrifices himself by charging outside with a gun to distract the terrorists long enough for the armor to activate. At the exact moment the upload finishes, Tony powers up the gigantic suit for the first time and walks through bullets like an unstoppable machine. The terrorists fire everything they have at him, but the armor crushes them effortlessly while flamethrowers burn through weapons and explosives across the cave. Tony finally reaches the dying Yinsen, who heartbreakingly reveals that his family had already died years ago. Filled with rage and grief, Tony destroys the entire terrorist camp before escaping into the desert using the suit's unstable rocket system. The armor eventually crashes apart, but Tony survives and is finally rescued by James Rhodes before returning home to America, completely changed by everything he witnessed. Back in America, Tony shocks the world during a press conference by announcing that Stark Industries will shut down its entire weapons manufacturing division. Obadiah Stane secretly hates the decision because weapons are the foundation of the company's fortune, but Tony no longer wants his inventions killing innocent people. For the first time in his life, he decides to become something more than a billionaire weapons dealer. Hidden inside his workshop, Tony secretly begins developing a new Iron Man suit far more advanced than the crude armor from the cave. Pepper helps him replace the failing arc reactor inside his chest during an intense moment that terrifies her completely. Afterward, Tony admits that besides Pepper, he has nobody else he truly trusts anymore, revealing just how isolated he has become since returning from captivity. Tony spends countless days and nights testing flight stabilizers, advanced weapon systems, and new armor designs while his AI assistant Jarvis helps control the project. Many experiments fail horribly, and one dangerous test nearly kills him when the suit freezes at high altitude and shuts down midair. Tony barely survives the fall by restarting the armor seconds before smashing into the ground. Meanwhile, terrorists in Afghanistan begin rebuilding the damaged armor Tony left behind in the cave, while Obadiah secretly pressures Stark Industries scientists to study Tony's arc reactor technology. During this time, Pepper leaves Tony a preserved version of his original reactor with a touching message reading, "Proof that Tony Stark has a heart," and the emotional gesture genuinely affects him more than he expected. At a Stark Industries charity event, Tony reconnects with reporter Christine Everhart, who reveals horrifying evidence that Stark weapons are still being illegally sold to terrorists, despite the company shutting down production. Tony instantly realizes someone inside Stark Industries has betrayed him. Then he sees live reports showing innocent villagers in Gulmira being slaughtered by terrorists using his own missiles. The name Gulmira hits Tony especially hard because it was Yinsen's hometown. Furious and overwhelmed with guilt, Tony decides he cannot stand by any longer. If this happened to you, would you risk your life to stop the destruction yourself? Tell me in the comments below. Tony immediately suits up as Iron Man and flies toward Afghanistan, determined to save the villagers personally. In one of the most iconic moments of the movie, Iron Man crashes into Gulmira and completely devastates the terrorists attacking innocent families. Bullets bounce harmlessly off his armor, while advanced targeting systems eliminate enemies with terrifying precision. When terrorists attempt to use civilians as shields, Tony neutralizes them instantly before they can fire a single shot at the villagers. Abu Bakr desperately tries calling for help, but Tony smashes through walls, destroys the terrorists' weapons stockpile, and wipes out the remaining Jericho missiles before they can be used again. During his escape, American fighter jets mistake Iron Man for a hostile aircraft and attack him in the sky. Tony is forced to reveal his identity to Rhodes just to stop the military from accidentally killing him. At the same time, the truth about Obadiah Stane is finally exposed. He was secretly selling Stark weapons to the Ten Rings all along, and even arranged Tony's kidnapping in Afghanistan. After discovering the damaged cave armor, Obadiah murders the terrorist leader Raza and steals the Iron Man technology for himself while secretly constructing a gigantic armored suit called the Ironmonger. Tony asks Pepper to secretly hack into Stark Industries and search Obadiah's private files for evidence. Pepper successfully discovers recordings proving Obadiah orchestrated Tony's kidnapping and has been rebuilding the stolen armor technology in a hidden facility called Sector 16. But before she can fully escape, Obadiah realizes she copied the files and immediately begins hunting her down. While Pepper escapes with SHIELD agent Phil Coulson, Obadiah paralyzes Tony using a sonic device and violently rips the arc reactor out of his chest, leaving him helpless on the floor to die. Barely breathing, Tony drags himself across the workshop and reaches the old reactor Pepper had preserved earlier. Using the last of his strength, he reconnects it to his chest and survives just moments before death. Obadiah finally activates the massive Ironmonger armor and attacks Pepper before Tony arrives in the Iron Man suit to stop him. A gigantic battle erupts across the city as the two armored titans smash through streets, buildings, and vehicles while trading devastating attacks. Because Tony is forced to use his weaker old reactor, his suit struggles badly against the overwhelming strength of the Ironmonger armor. Obadiah mocks Tony constantly and claims he perfected the original design, but Tony realizes the enemy suit has one critical weakness: freezing temperatures. Using almost all remaining power, Tony flies high into the upper atmosphere while Obadiah chases him without hesitation. Ice slowly forms across the Ironmonger armor until the entire system freezes and crashes violently back toward the city below. Even after surviving the fall, Obadiah launches one final brutal attack above the giant Stark Industries arc reactor. Tony knows he cannot defeat the Ironmonger with strength alone, so he contacts Pepper and tells her to overload the reactor completely. As Tony distracts Obadiah during the final seconds, Pepper activates the overload, and an enormous blast of energy erupts upward into the Ironmonger suit. The explosion destroys Obadiah instantly, while Tony barely survives the shockwave. The next day, the entire world celebrates Iron Man as a hero. And during a press conference, Tony ignores the cover story prepared for him. Instead, he stares directly at the reporters and delivers the legendary line, "I am Iron Man." Moments later, Nick Fury arrives at Tony's house and introduces the Avengers initiative. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Great Animation Recaps, turn on the notification bell so you never miss another epic recap, and comment your favorite Iron Man moment below.